right, everybody, welcome. Today we're going to talk about the Corsair Platform 6 Creator Edition. Before we kind of dive into this, I've got the full video of the build, kind of talk a little bit about this thing. It's a massive desk, expensive desk. Is it worth it? Is one of the biggest questions that I get and I see out there in a lot of the forums. Start with disclaimer right up front. This is the Platform 6 Creator Edition. It is the top of the line one. I did get the extensions inside pegboard as well added on. This was all purchased out of pocket. Corsair did not send me any of this stuff. I did not get this as part of an influencer because I'm obviously not an influencer. So this was all purchased out of pocket. Everything here was purchased out of pocket. So let's get into it. First of all, ordering process. Good luck trying to get one. They're in and out of stock constantly, so you kind of have to stalk the website every day, multiple times a day. That was the only way I was able to get one. It was about 2 months that they were out of stock. Finally got one in. I managed to get my order in, and like literally a couple hours later, they were gone. So ordering process, once you're able to get one, get in the cart, order, straightforward, pretty easy to go. No issues with getting that. After that, got a little fuzzy. The shipping process and the communications was kind of hokey. It was about 2 days after I ordered. I think I ordered on a Friday. I think on Monday, actually, I got an email saying that it was shipping and that I would receive communication once it was arrived to schedule delivery. So what does that mean? That means it's coming in on ground transport because it's so heavy and so large. Everything was shipped on a pallet. The communications process from there was very hit or miss. Got some emails, I got a tracking number, but I couldn't find it. I ended up having to go to 2 different websites, finally found where I was supposed to go. But the tracking information as it progressed wasn't clear. I had no idea where it was. I knew it was coming out of California. I knew it would take a few days to get here. And the short of it is it finally got here after several phone calls and reaching out to confirm it had shipped. It arrived probably about 10, 12 days later, maybe a little bit longer than that, close to 2 weeks. Finally arrived. It was delivered all on a pallet, a long pallet. If you order Platform 6 Creator Edition, get the pegboard, the Elgato pegboard that goes on the back, and that's extra box. I think all in all, I had 5 boxes that came in on one large pallet. So if you're ordering this, be prepared. There is a lot of shipping material to deal with. You got to deal with what are you going to do with the pallet when you get rid of it? When it arrives, where's it going to go? 5 large boxes. There's a lot of styrofoam, a lot of cardboard, and probably a month later now, and I'm still trying to get stuff into my recycle bin every time the recycle runs. I think I have one more round to go and it'll be there. So if you're in a small area, small apartment, make sure you plan for where you're going to put all that material because it is a lot of packing material. The flip side is there's a lot of packing material, so it really does a good job of protecting the desktop. I got the wood grain color, the dark wood, which is a softer material than the black desk and therefore can damage easier. But there wasn't a single scratch or dent on the material anywhere. So it was very well packed. So kudos to Corsair for doing a good job of that. Now, let's get into it. Once it gets here and you get it off the pallet and into the area that you're going to build, and I recommend you get everything into the area that you're going to build. You do not want to build this somewhere else and then try to move it. It is an extremely heavy desk, extremely heavy. All in all, the build process was about 2.5 hours. I did it by myself for the most part, except for once I got to the part where the big flip came into play. Yes, it's called the big flip. That's actually the line in the instruction manual, what it's called on that page. And it does take 2 people to flip this desk over. Watch the full build video. I sped it up so it doesn't take as long. There's going to be bits and pieces of it throughout this video as well as I kind of talk through the different areas. Now, so that's kind of the shipping, getting it in, starting your build, and how long it's going to take to build. But what about the desk itself? Is it worth basically almost $2,000 if you get, well, $2,000 if you get the extensions like I did? My own opinion, we'll talk about it in a minute. But let's kind of dive into the details. Solid built, you get everything. You get the large desktop, Platform 6 Elevate, and the Creators Edition both have elevation. So the desk rises and lowers. It's very quiet. I got a short video sample I'll drop in here. Extremely quiet, extremely smooth. It handles weight. I have 2 backpacks that hang on the pegboard on the left side. They're full of stuff. One of them has a bunch of camera gear in it, very heavy. The other bag is laptops and a lot of cords and power packs, so that's very heavy. On the other side, I have my full desktop here, which is also a Corsair case. Absolutely love it, and it's very sturdy. Doesn't move, doesn't sag at all, even with that full desktop weight on there. Desktop itself, very solid. Lots of space. You have a cubby in the back here that's great for hiding cables. There is a powered USB back here. Also put a USB strip in mine as well, a powered USB hub, so that I can have some extra ports for like additional charging, whatever. I don't really plug too much into that for accessing the PC because everything's close enough that I can get it there. And, T-rail system, monitors. I got dual monitor arms on it raised up. It's great. I absolutely love it. Basically, I have the entire desk space free for me to put things on, move things around. Very clean. Your elevation has 2 presets that you can program in. So pick a low height, pick a high height, and program them in. One thing I will say is kind of figure out where you want to adjust. One of the things that I had to do was I set it a little bit higher so that I could raise my chair up a little bit. My feet are kind of off the floor. So I needed to get me a little footstool to put my feet on to keep the old back from hurting. Those of you who are up there, getting up there like me, you'll appreciate that. So get you something to prop your feet up on. Again, it doesn't vibrate a lot. It's very solid, very sturdy. Steel construction. One addition, and you'll see in the build video that I did put on, was little felt pad feet underneath the plastic feet. I have laminate flooring here, and so I don't want to scar that up or scrape that up, and so I put those on there. Upside is it also makes it a lot easier to move on this floor because, again, like I said earlier, extremely heavy, especially once you get it fully installed. So with the Platform 6 by default, you get the desktop, T-rail system, monitor arm, you get the multi-platform in the back, which is the pegboard, 2 shelves on the side that you can use for speakers, and then a small shelf on top. You also get a ton of attachments to go onto your pegboard to hang things on, and you'll see in the video, and you can see here I have cords hanging, my iPad up there, some controllers, and you get a ton of the little T-screws, which are universal standard for mounting various things, which you can kind of see a little bit here. I have 2 Elgato Keylight Minis that I've mounted up on the top T-rail. Really, really great. Absolutely love it. Another big plus, cable management, and I'll show some screenshots and images of video from the back of the desk that I have. I did add my own LED light strip. I'll put a link to that in the comments below, and I also put a link to some of the additional things that I purchased, like extra power strip. Absolutely needed that just because I have so many different things I'm plugging in. I'll put in there links to the speakers that I'm using, as well as some of the additional cable management things that I put in. There do get a mesh cord cover that comes with it to cover the power cord at the bottom going down to the power outlet or your power strip. I did order some additional ones on Amazon because I didn't think there was enough. I wanted everything on the back to be covered as well. So all of my cable management is covered with the mesh line. So you can only really see one line here coming down behind the monitors. Industry standard, right? All the power cords and cables today are too short. So instead of trying to get a longer cable or reroute it, I just went straight down the back to the power strip and covered it up with the nylon mesh. It looks clean. It looks great. I think overall, I'm extremely pleased with the desk. It's been solid. No complaints. The build process did take a while. Get yourself a second person to help you. It'll probably go a lot smoother. All your tools are provided. Everything is labeled very well. So again, kudos to Corsair for doing a good job on the instruction manual. It's very easy to follow. The only issue I ran into on the build was the corner caps, the little plastic corner caps. Just make sure you pay attention when you're putting them on because there is a right and left. They're not labeled. There's a screw hole that's pre-drilled into the plastic cap. So just make sure you look at it carefully, make sure you understand which direction that screw hole goes on. So it should be facing the rear. I wasn't paying attention. I had them on backwards. And so I had to kind of loosen the pegboard on the back again to get those on. Outside of that, I think my only real complaint is the power strip that comes with it that goes into the cable tray management on the bottom. There is a cable they provide you that connects the power strip up to the USB ports that are inside your cubby. The power strip is angled, or sorry, the cord is angled. It has a right angle on it, which is great. But the problem is the angle is backwards. So the cord is actually angled towards your power plugs instead of the out way. So Corsair, if you see this video or you check it out, or if you folks want to give that feedback to Corsair, either flip the USB port around so that the plug faces the other way or get a different cable so that it's angled the opposite direction. That was just a little bit inconvenient. It does push right up against, I tried to find the smallest plug to go over there. So is it worth it? $2,000, in my opinion, absolutely. If you're looking for a desk that has a lot of flexibility, allows you to change your configuration based on your needs, like I want to stand. I want to sit during the day. I want to use a higher chair but not stand. I want to have multiple lights from different angles. I want to have three cameras. I want to have two microphones. I want to have two PCs. I want pegboards on the side. I want a desktop extra shelf over here. I want a shelf over here to hold plants or whatever. There's so much flexibility. It's the T-rail system being universally standard is great. It fits, obviously, it fits all the Elgato multi-frame stuff. I did purchase the low profile arm, fits on the back very nicely. I could have mounted another one up on the rail if I wanted. Probably the only other thing, as I'm looking back on it, that I would say is there are some Elgato adapter screw holes that are on the side mount posts that are right on the top. If you don't have the multi-frame, they're perfectly great. You can use key lights and key light airs and minis and put them over there, and just screw the mount bar right directly into the hole. It fits great. But if you have the multi-frame, that hole almost becomes useless. So that's probably I would suggest maybe Elgato move that hole out a little bit closer to the front. Maybe outside of that, I think it's great. Easy to understand instruction. Very solidly built. Very heavy. I don't see wobble on this a whole lot. I do get some monitor vibration a little bit when I'm gaming. It just depends on how intense you get. So I think overall it's pretty solid. I don't get a lot of vibration. So yeah, highly recommend it if you're in the market for a desk. I did do a lot of comparison on this because this was out of stock and I really was kind of determined which way do I want to go. I looked at the Secret Lab Magnus Pro, which is absolutely phenomenal desk. It just did not have the pegboard. Had a pretty close amount of space, had some good cable management, but to me, this desk stands above and beyond anything else that I've seen out there on the market. Uplift makes great desks as well, but again, nothing with the multi-frame type pegboard attachment system and the flexibility to be able to change things around and the multi-use T-rail universal T-rail system. It's just above and beyond the rest. Probably, everyone says that that it has like a two monitor limit. I think if you wanted a third monitor, you could put one in here. They'd have to either be smaller monitors. These are 27s, and I think they're very good size. They fit well. I've got plenty of space left. If you wanted to put another one on the side, maybe go vertical, you got plenty of space to do that as well. Or you could go three wide. You can purchase an additional monitor arm if you'd like. I think that for me, two's enough. I don't know that I would try to go four. It would get a little crazy. It says it supports 36 pounds. I've seen some reports of monitor arms, or sorry, T-rail sag from the monitor arms. I haven't seen it, but again, these aren't very large monitors. Just something to think about. If you have extremely large monitors, you may want to consider a different way of mounting them instead of using the T-rail. Outside of that, again, well worth it. So take a look at the build video, full build video. I'm going to post a link to that so you can see kind of the whole process. And then, yeah, I think that's it. Corsair, hey, if you're listening, if you're watching, you check this out and you got some stuff you want me to check out and review, I'll be glad. I could use another Stream Deck. Looking for one of those pluses. I want to try that out. So, hey, shoot me something. Review. I'll give you an honest review. So anyway, hope this was helpful. Hope you like it. Let me know what you think.